Hi, it's Mary with All That's Crafty, and I have two things for you today. One is a project share. I've completed a card, so I wanted to share that with you. The other thing is I'm going to show you what I have been doing with my stamps that you get like this from Stampin' Up. So if you have these wheels and you're tired of the space that they take up and stuff, I'm going to actually unmount this and put this on some easy mounting foam. So if you've not seen that or you don't know how to do it, stay tuned after my project share and we'll do that together. So this is the collection I used, and it is one of my all-time favorites aside from Doodlebug, but it's called Lemonade Stand. It came out last year. I absolutely love this paper for just the colors are just gorgeous. Such bright colors. And look at that ice cream. Woohoo! So, I mean, just beautiful paper. So, here is my card that I made. I used a Whimsy, that's Whimsy stamp image, and the stamp is a We stamp. If you go to whimsystamps.com, then you look under We, W-E-E, stamps. That's the designer. This particular image is called Goldie, and I just love her. So I Copic colored her, and then I put her up on some of the foam. Used the paper pack, the scalloped one from here. This is the scallop one, and that's where I got the colors for her tail. So you can see she matches, you know, the colors going red to the blue. That's where I got my inspiration from. And I'm going to go over the colors really quickly because I know sometimes we see something and, oh my goodness, what color combination did you use? So the Copic marker for her skin tone is, all of these are E, so you have E 00, 21, 5-1 and 5-3. So those are 4 different markers. So E00, E21, E51 and E53. Her hair was done with R22, R24 and R27. And then the flower was Y15. The water I created with BG, and there's 4 zeros after that one. Then BG with 3 zeros, and then BG01. Her tail was a combination, and I didn't even try to like do real blending because there's such tiny little pieces of scale. So I just colored one row, one color of red, and then a different color of red. And I did do a little shadowing with a WO and a W1 to give some shadow. You can use a gray marker. So that's just a tip too. If you don't know that about Copics, pull out grays to help deepen and create shadows. So the tail is R27, R24, RV55, or I should say RV55 is the correct way to say that, RV52, and then we have Y15, and we have Y13, and then before that is YR16 and YR15. Sorry, the orange should go, the yellow red should go before the yellow. And then I have the yellow green, that is 25, and then YG23, BG07, BG53, and then the fins are B93, B95, B97, and B99. The snail I used was over here was YG00, YG23, YG25, and YR15 and YR16. And then I also used my lightest RV to color these little bubbles pink. I used the glossy accents on top of my bubbles, and I also did some of my Wink of Stella before I put the glossy accents on top. So I hope you like that. I did not stamp in, a sentiment yet. And then I did put the paper from inside the paper pad. It has hearts on it, and I thought it was really cute because it went with the hearts that are right there, kind of help pull it all together and more of the red. But I'll give you a close view of her. I certainly thought she came out pretty cute. Don't know what I'm going to do with her yet, but wanted to share her with you. So that is my card share. So let me show you what I've been doing. I have a ton of these, and I got them at a really good price from somebody who was selling them really cheap, and you can see they've never been used, but I don't need all those wheels. So they're pretty easy to take apart. I found that the bigger ones are the ones that are giving me more of a fit, but it's nothing bad. You can see it's just rough. These just kind of split very easily. You know, it's a very smooth. So all you're going to do is, you know, you don't need this. Chuck this, get rid of it. You're going to look for where the seam is, where the two pieces are joined together. So you can see they glued that together there. So you're just going to carefully pull on this and tear those apart. And you can see this one's coming apart very easily. So I've tore that off. Just peel it off. If this glue comes with it, just pull that glue off and throw it away. Like that one there. All you have to do is rub on it like this and see how easy, because you need this clean in order for it to stick to our foam mat that we're going to use. And then I've just got 2 more to do, and then I'm going to put them on the foam mat for you. Well, this one I want to show you because these are the ones that have been giving me a fit. But just find that seam again. I can see where the seam is. Sorry, I was off the screen there. And I'm just carefully pulling that apart because I want it to split down the seam. I don't want it to tear into the stamp in the wrong direction. So, okay, that came apart, but I did have to take my time. And this one is sticking to this wheel, but that's no big deal. This will rub right off. So instead of me peeling this stuff off, let me throw that piece away. I'm going to show you how to do this part. I think you get the other part. I have 2 different kinds. It's the same thing. This is your Static Cling Easy Mount mounting foam, and this one was like $5 a sheet. That's about typical for one of these. So, you know, you can find them cheaper, more expensive, but like this one cost me $6, and it's the same stuff. So I like the one that has more of a pad. There are some that are not as thick when it comes to the foam. They're thinner. I do like the thicker foam. And you want to make sure your stamps are clean, and you want to make sure you're sticking this onto the sticky side, because there's one that's a sticky side, and then the other just reveals the cling that so it can click to stick to your acrylic blocks. And see, this isn't sticky. That's the cling part. So we'll cover that back up to keep it clean for now. So we're going to apply our stamps to this side. So what I do is I just fold that down because I want to keep this as clean as possible. I don't want to get debris on here from something else. Make sure that's nice and clean. And if you want to trim a little bit of it, you certainly can. Now, if you're going to mount stamps that you've purchased that are not trimmed out, you do want to trim your stamp before you put it onto the Easy Mount. It will make life easier for you. So here is this stamp I got, and I'm just going to line it up with the edge and see if I can get this to be in frame for you better. Sorry about that. Here, let me back out. I think that would help. Oops, wrong way. Okay. Alright. So I'm just going to line this up. It's a nice rectangle. It's a great shape to learn on. So I'm just, oops, there's a hair. I don't want hair in it. Okay. I'm going to line this up. This stuff sticks really, really well. When it's down, it's down. Which you want. You don't want your stamps coming off. Okay. So I've just pushed that on there real good. And now I'm ready to cut this away from the foam. Now, I've seen some people and they just keep layering the stamps on, and you can do that. But one reason that I don't do that is I have this little tool that I wanted to share with you. This is a little knife, and it is a hot knife. You can get them in the craft stores. They are very sharp, and it does get extremely hot, so you do want to be careful with this little doohickey. But this little bad boy here will make cutting through this foam a breeze. So let me show you that. And I don't want to cut my mat, so I'm going to go ahead and just get a cutting board underneath myself, just on the outside chance that I need it, and I don't want to hurt my craft mat there. So I do have a cutting board right under my desk, so I can put this on here, and then that way I don't have to worry about it. And I'm just going to use my knife and cut right through this foam. Now this will not cut the rubber, so if you try to do the rubber, it won't work. And see how easy that cuts through the foam? And if you've ever watched somebody do this with a pair of scissors, it is not very much fun because it is so super tacky. Even when you use Tim Holtz scissors, because these have that coating, you still get the sticky. So I'm telling you, see how much is already cut through there? So this is the way to go if you're doing it and mounting your own. I'm telling you, it just cuts like butter, as we like to say. And then go right here, and you can use that technique even with ones that you've hand, trimmed out the rubber. Just be sure and trim it, the rubber that is, before you put it on your foam. Now, wasn't that a whole lot faster than doing this with a pair of scissors? And it's so clean. I love it. And if you're like me, your hands hurt sometimes, and just that constant trying to get this, and then you deal with the gum, and it's not as much fun. So this is pretty super easy, and I find it really cool. So I'm going to do another one. Just going to pull that back. Now I did have a piece of rubber fall on there, so I'm going to pinch that up like a pair of tweezers. I don't want that on my thing. And let's mount another one. Now this one I did have, this is an older one, it's used. This one did tear a little bit when I tried to get it off the wheel, but I think it'll be fine when I mount it. But before I take and use up my mounting foam on this one, I'm going to get some Stay-On cleaner, and I'm going to clean this up, and then I'm just going to practice stamping with it, just to make sure that this rubber isn't so old that it just needs to be tossed in the trash. And if you've ever had older stamps, you'll know sometimes they give up the ghost, and it's just time to let them go and move on. Rest in peace, old stamp. You've done your duty. So just cleaning up the edges of this one with my scissors from Tim Holtz. Love these scissors. Okay, I just cleaned up the edges. Oh, that one still is dirty on the back. So let's do one of these that's already, I want to do the flowers. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing. I always like to protect the part that I'm not using because I don't want to put my palm of my hand in it or anything like that. So I kind of like just to rest my hand here, and then I'm not messing up the sticky. And let's get this going. Okay, I got that seated, and just following the edge right here and laying that right down on the edge. There I go. And now my knife is nice and hot. Move that out of my way again, just turn it around. And I'm going to use my hot knife and put this in here. So cut right through that foam. And then I'm going to turn it and cut it this way, because I want to save this piece so I can put another piece, of this going long ways down that way. So I don't want to be cutting into it. See, I think that's enough. Looks like I've cut it all the way through with that one pass. And I'll pull that one off, and it's ready to go. So now it's ready to be used in my stamp press, my MISTI, or put it on a block, and it's ready to go. So that's my tip for you today. Thanks for joining me, and I hope you have time to make something crafty for you or someone in your life. Bye!